It's like literally the end of the world. Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 darkest teen drama films. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're ranking the most memorable, successful, or noteworthy films dealing with teen angst in a dark and disturbing way. Teenagers don't necessarily need to represent the entire cast of the films in question, but the protagonists and plot lines should reflect a young adult demographic, while at the same time being either dark in tone or possessing a pitch-black sense of humor. And since we'll be delving deep into plot points here, a spoiler alert is hereby declared. Number 10. Carrie.
Trust me, Carrie. You can trust me. Trust me, Carrie. You can trust me.
So, is the classic 1976 adaptation of Stephen King's Carrie a horror film or a drama picture? Well, both actually, and a damn dark one to boot.
Stop it, Mama! Stop hurting yourself, Mama!
For starters, the whole film is shot with this hazy, gauze-filled soft focus that gives it a creepy and dreamlike feeling. On top of that, the film's themes of domestic abuse, bullying, religious fervor, and sexual awakening lend it a pathos far more powerful than your average teen movie. Add in a riveting performance from Sissy Spacek as the titular telekinetic prom queen, and you have yourself a recipe for one true dramatic classic.
We pray for the last time. We pray.
Number 9. Better Off Dead. Hands up, who thinks the subject of suicide is a great way to draw in laughs for your movie? No? Well, don't tell that to the folks behind the 1985 cult hit Better Off Dead, a film where the main narrative focuses on the repeated suicide attempts of Lane, a boy whose girlfriend dumps him before the holidays.
How could she throw away 6 months?
These failed attempts are played for laughs in Better Off Dead, and it's here where the film's dark humor really hits home.
Wait, this is death here. I haven't even been to New York City.
Honestly though, Better Off Dead is still fondly remembered by many who saw it during its initial run, thanks largely to the charismatic performance of its lead, John Cusack.
She dumped me and I guess I just thought I couldn't live without her or something.
Number 8. Jawbreaker.
They'll believe it because it's their worst nightmare.
Speaking of black comedy, the laughs in this late 90s teen drama are as dark as they get, thanks to a script that combines makeovers, kinky sex, and murder into one stylishly dressed take on high school social hierarchy.
Liz is in the trunk of this car, and she is dead.
Jawbreaker centers around a trio of popular students who play an unfunny prank on their friend Liz, locking her in the trunk of a car and gagging her with the titular confectionery. Unfortunately, Liz chokes on the Jawbreaker, and the three are discovered trying to hide her body by the school nerd. They decide to accept her into their clique as a way of keeping her quiet, and things quickly go downhill from there.
I taught you to disrespect us. You taught me to rule.
Number 7. Bully.
We killed Bobby.
Pardon me.
We killed him. He's dead. We did it.
Based on the real-life murder of Bobby Kent in 1993, Bully pulls no punches when it comes to showing teenagers' darkest impulses, as well as their worst consequences. The film focuses on a group of teens and young adults as they conspire to murder their violent and abusive friend.
So there's nothing we can do to stop him ever.
Kill him, that's about it.
Bully is filled with sex, drugs, and violence, to the point where critics couldn't seem to agree whether its portrayal of young people was realistic or just plain exploitative. You can watch to form your own opinion, but viewer discretion is definitely advised.
Shit, I never knew nobody who killed somebody.
Number 6. The Virgin Suicides.
The green pamphlets told us that there were 80 suicides a day in America, 30,000 a year, and alerted us to danger signals we couldn't help but look for.
With a name like The Virgin Suicides, you just know this one's gonna be dark. Sofia Coppola's directorial debut about a quintet of sheltered sisters living in 1970s Michigan sets a depressing tone from the start, but by the end, deals with some extremely heavy imagery that we still can't shake from our heads.
What?
Told from the viewpoint of the boys living next door, the film explores facing tragedy at a young age and showcases a sense of suburban dread that helped it become one of the darkest teen movies of all time.
So much has been said about the girls over the years, but we have never found an answer.
Number 5. Boyz in the Hood.
We got a problem here? We got a problem?
Director John Singleton's Boyz in the Hood is a very real and unflinching look at the difficult and often tumultuous world of the inner city for young black youth.
Ain't nobody from outside bringing down the property value. It's these folk shooting each other and selling that crack rock and shit.
The film is as far removed from fantasy as can be, and demonstrates the sort of honest storytelling we so often see nowadays when dealing with teenage characters and their struggles. Cinema was a very different landscape in 1991, however, which makes the effectiveness of Boyz in the Hood so remarkable, even 20+ years after its release. Singleton's film also benefited from a hugely talented cast, which included Ice Cube, Lawrence Fishburne, Morris Chestnut, and Cuba Gooding Jr. Number 4. Kids.
Jesus Christ, what happened?
Director Larry Clark was no stranger to controversy when he helmed Kids, a Harmony Korine scripted effort that was greeted with a polarized reception by fans and critics upon its release in 1995. Clark's film drops the kid gloves in its depiction of teenage life, never shying away from depicting sex, drug use, or the consequences of living a reckless life.
Jenny, you've tested positive for the HIV virus.
What?
Kids also featured a bevy of young stars in their debut roles, including Chloe Sevigny and Rosario Dawson. Much like with Clark's later film Bully, some critics claimed that Kids showcased this behavior in an exploitative or lascivious way, accusations that still follow the film to this day.
Yo, Telly says what's up.
Number 3. Rebel Without a Cause. As the oldest film on this list, one might be forgiven for thinking that Rebel Without a Cause may have aged poorly, but that is anything but true. In fact, this groundbreaking classic continues to impress decades after its 1955 release.
Mom, a kid was killed tonight.
Sure, it'd be easy to pin the success of Rebel Without a Cause firmly on the chest of cinema icon James Dean, but the film actually explores such issues as parental responsibility and juvenile delinquency in a way that was profoundly different from typical pictures of the day.
He called me a dirty tramp. My own father.
There's genuine emotional pathos to be found, as well as a powerful story, making Rebel Without a Cause a timeless teen drama for the ages.
You're tearing me apart!
What?
You say one thing, he says another, and everybody changes back again!
Number 2. River's Edge. We're getting into the super gritty here, with one of the most impressively honest teen drama films of the 1980s.
Why did you kill her?
She was talking shit.
River's Edge was remarkably different from the cookie-cutter 80s comedies being released at the time, and instead presented a very disaffected and depressing view of listless, bored teenage life.
I was just sitting around. Figured I'd call you.
Director Tim Hunter had co-written a similar feature titled Over the Edge back in 1979, and would revisit themes of alienation and anarchy less than a decade later with this film. Keanu Reeves, Crispin Glover, Daniel Roebuck, and Ione Skye all deliver memorable performances here, with River's Edge perhaps being one of the most underrated entries on this list.
What, he helped you kill the poor girl?
Jim.
Maybe he did. Maybe I am a killer.
Before we name our number 1 pick, here are some honorable mentions.
If you died right now, I would throw myself into one of my dad's cement trucks and get poured into your tomb.
Oh, Dad, we're going to jail!
I like it here. It's nice.
Number 1. Heathers.
I just killed my best friend.
And your worst enemy.
What can we say about Heathers that hasn't already been said? The film was a revelation when it was released in the late 80s. A tour de force of intelligent writing, memorable characters, and endlessly quotable moments.
Me gently with the chainsaw. Do I look like Mother Teresa?
The film itself is an incredibly dark blend of comedy and drama, utilizing themes of suicide, bullying, and gun violence within a very twisted and multi-dimensional small-town ecosystem.
Did you have a brain tumor for breakfast?
Winona Ryder and Christian Slater are magnetic on screen, while the film keeps ramping up its unique mix of tension, drama, and laughs, in the process, setting itself up as one of the decade's definitive cult classics.
Our love is God. Let's go get a slushie.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from MsMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.